Hey guys, with the city of Morecambe in the background over there, we've now come to Heysham, I think. I'm sure I mispronounced it, but who knows, who cares. But anyway, it's a cute little village. It shares the West End boundary, or the West End pier, with the other city. And the tide is out right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And we're over here, not necessarily to explore the village, but because there's a bit of history that I need to check out for myself. So why don't you join me, and I'll show you something really cool, I think. Really, really cool. It's so different seeing the tide out. If you guys had seen this like 6 hours ago, completely different vibe. Still very cool, but completely different vibe. So, yeah, I said it right. Heysham. Or did I say Heysham? I don't think so. Got a cute little inn right here, cafe. So, you can be rebellious and go this way through the village. We're gonna go this way. The most direct route. But look at this. Doesn't this look like it's out of like a fairy tale? This little nook, these little houses, right down to the water over there. Now, if you go this way and you don't take a right and don't follow the screams, you actually will find yourself in, I guess, in the shopping part of this village. I think that's where those kids are running to. But as a recent fan of finally reading The Secret Garden, finally, I thought it'd be nice to see Britain in Bloom finalist 2024, this garden. So we'll take a look at the garden and St. Patrick's Chapel. So welcome to St. Peter's Church. This is actually a parish church for this community, and it does look like the door's open, so we'll have a look in a bit. But this cemetery right here, it caught my eye this morning when I was running, mainly because of the water. I mean, look at that. And our secret garden's right there to the right. It's just, this is just a cute little haven that, I don't know, it just looks like a great resting place, a great place of worship. Now, I think I read a sign that said it correctly, or I think I read a sign that said that this cemetery is considered closed now. Like, they aren't accepting anything else to be added to it. So they even mandated that anyone who wanted to spread, like, the ashes, it's a no-go. But look at this, isn't this lovely? And it's just, you know, these people who live their lives and part of these communities here, this is where they put them. It's downright majestic. And some of these are a little bit different. Look at this. This is from Lena Illingworth, who died 1945, July 31st, right before the war came to an end. But look how her grave is different than these other ones. I feel like this is a cemetery that you would want in a movie scene. I know everything comes back, or when you're reading a book and you're like imagining like where the family has their grave, like has their burial or whatnot. Like this is where they want to have it. It is just, it's magical. I love it. I've noticed this a lot right here, the terms where you have for the couples right here, like at rest, beloved wife, and then the couple. But I like the last part down below where it says reunited. I've seen that on several graves in this area. It's beautiful. Wow. So from the center of Morecambe, it's 2.5 miles to get here, one way. Oh my God. Straight ahead. I don't know. I'll zoom in. We'll see if you guys can see it. I don't know if you can see that. There's the mountains of the Peak District. Is it Peak or Lakes? Anyway, that's where the lakes are. If you go that way. I actually, usually I complain when cemeteries are not kept up. And there's something that I really like the fact that this one's not. I like that it's rustic. Just past some people who have their dogs in here. They're on leads, but I don't think it's an appropriate place. Oh wow, lovely. Oregon. Here's the actual worship area for St. Peter's. It's very, very peaceful. Oops, excuse me guys. I think it's fitting that you have kids that are running around in here playing. That's what this garden's for. Look at this. Little benches kind of hidden in between. Wow, this is a garden where you just sit and you read a book, think about life. It's lovely. Aw. Little cat. I like this. It's like a community garden that they've made into their own, and there's all these little knickknacks in between. These little guys scattered throughout that you have to look for. I think I'm the only one that's in England today that wants it cloudy or rainy. That is a scary looking horse. Isn't this just a cute little garden? This morning at 6:30 there was like no one here. So just imagine it then. And you can come in and just have it all to yourself. Oh, do we think this is a fairy home? What do you guys think? Do you see all the little homes they put right here? Aw. It's a sweet garden. Yeah. I like it. This could be a nice stand-in for the secret garden. Truly. Very, very, very sweet. So while we leave St. Peter's and the Church of England, here in the parish of Heysham, that's how I'm pronouncing it, we're now heading up the hill to St. Patrick's Chapel, or what remains of it. It's part of the National Trust over here. All right. So we found it. Where we're coming to right here is where it remains of an 8th century chapel. St. Patrick's Chapel. What was originally a one-room chapel, they believe it was built to give pilgrims, religious pilgrims, a place to rest while they were visiting the graves that were here. Now, there were several graves right in this area. Okay. And then there were a couple over here, and you can see the stone. So they would have been covered in stone like this right here. And of course, there's no record as to who was buried here, but it's possible, very, very well possible, that St. Patrick himself might have been in one of these spots. As this area grew over time and became known as a pilgrimage spot, what was at first a few graves might have grown up to around 80, I think is what I read. And of course, looking out, look at this. This is what the chapel would have seen. It hasn't changed much. Now, a couple other interesting things about this location. So, the story specifically about St. Patrick himself. So, St. Patrick, while he wasn't from this area, they think he was from, he was from Cumbria. I think it was Cumbria. And he ended up getting kidnapped by some pirates. So, when Patrick was kidnapped by some pirates, he was taken to the island of Ireland, or country, depending on how you want to look at it now. And after 6 years of working in slavery, he heard a voice from God telling him that there was a boat that was waiting for him to take him to France. Well, or basically to free him. I feel like I'm in Lubeck now. When he got on this boat, there was a big storm and he was shipwrecked. Well, it is believed in the story of that shipwreck that that ship didn't make it to France. It made it over to here. And when he walked ashore, it was on these, it was right here in this location. And then eventually he did make his way to France to continue his learning, until he ended up returning to Ireland to do the many deeds that he did. So that's the St. Patrick connection right here. But again, people feel that he might have come back, and this is where he lies. So this whole area, as we leave the chapel, it's interesting. The chapel just made up that one spot right over there, okay? And then you have this wall, this fortification, if you will, in the wood line and over there. This all precedes the Battle of Hastings from 1066. And so it's also very possible that those graves we saw were from Vikings. And now as we continue our adventure, which was not intended, but it is, I guess, at this point. Look at this. We are looking at the sights today. We are trailblazing. Isn't this beautiful? Well, maybe not the view. That's the ferry. And that ferry boat goes to the Isle of Man. Never been to the Isle of Man. Again, see how far out the water goes? People are out there fishing right now. They're on shares. Wow. One of my dreams as a kid was to trailblaze through cliffs over here in England. And it's funny how finally now, at middle age, I'm actually able to say that I'm doing that. What a beautiful area. Beautiful area. No, even though I hear the hum of the ferry over there, it's still really, really quiet. I'm sure this is quite a contrast to other parts of England. I wonder if they can say the sun's out today, too. For people that might have seen my hike in Bray, over in Ireland across the other side of the Irish Sea. This is definitely different. It's less people. More dogs. No cows. No cows. I heard some girls down there. You can hear their cackles. They have like a private beach all to themselves right now. And here you go. Here's another view. And what's cool actually from right here, you can see the cemetery that we first saw. You can see the embankment that we walked in on. Okay? Embankment we walked in on. Cemetery. And then right up there on the hill is St. Patrick's Chapel. Lovely. And as we head out of here, you know, we don't have the National Trust in the United States. I mean, we have the Smithsonian, and we do have some national parks. And I don't know if they work the same as the National Trust here is, but I think, at least in theory, for us, the national parks, you know, it's supposed to be shared land for everyone to use. And you're supposed to treat it with respect. And I assume it's the same thing here. And nothing pisses me off more than seeing doggy poop bags thrown into the grass. I have some choice words, but I'll keep them to myself. But I'll just say that, why are people such dicks? Now, if you take offense to that, then I guess you haven't been alive in 2024. Or maybe you have. Oh, shit. Now I feel like I'm in something out of Robin Hood. I do want to see this cave real quick. But, in all seriousness, quick little teacher story. So this year I did get a complaint from a student. The student wrote the principal to say I'd been swearing in class. And I asked what the student specifically wrote. And they said that I called someone a dickhead. One, the computer wasn't working, the monitor, and that's what I called a dickhead. But I guess at the high school level, 15, 16, 17 years old, that was considered too offensive. Something wrong with the snowflake generation. Because I've been called a lot worse than that. Look at this. I wonder who, over the years, used this as a resting place. Had a fire, camped out overnight, sought some protection. More importantly, I wonder how many kids have had parties here. It's a cool spot. I didn't expect to find this when I was running this morning. Alright guys, well I think that's it from here. Hope you enjoyed the little tour and these spots that we found today. Alright, I'll see you again soon, okay? Alright, peace.